Hey, well, what's up? Welcome to Shannon Speaks. You know, the deal is, as you could already tell from the title, today's video is going to be an unpopular opinion. I have an unpopular opinion about what white people should and should not be doing in relation to social justice issues. So obviously, dear white people, in regards to social justice issues, this is how I feel. I live in Canada, and I find that of course, racial issues in Canada versus racial issues in the States is very different. Racial issues everywhere have variations in how I find social inequalities and discrimination is shown or displayed. Canadian discrimination is very subtle, although it's still present. Inequalities are still present. However, they're not as blatant and as blunt as they are in the States. So obviously, as some of you guys may know, the most recent case of social injustice is in regards to Emmett Albury when he got shot. This was a young man that was just jogging and he got shot for no apparent reason apart from the fact that he was black. This is crazy. Like, I don't understand how long we're gonna live a life where being black is a crime. I digress. Or being black equals some innate sin. I digress. This is not supposed to be a video that I talk about racism or racial discrimination towards black people. This is me addressing a lot of the common misconceptions or excuses that I find a lot of white people that I have been exposed to use in order to not be vocal or not ally with black people in their communities. This video is based off of a post that I made about this incident, and essentially in the post that I made, I said, and I quote, I'm looking at my phone, y'all, and I quote, "Where is all the white solidarity today? When it's gay rights or animal rights or women rights, it's an outrage. Black man dies, I see no posts, I see no comments, I see no solidarity, I see no outrage. They love our culture, they love our drag, they love our music, they love our talk, but we are casualties to them. And I refuse to hear anything else. Dear white people, your silence is deafening." Now, there's nothing new about this post, okay? There's nothing new about this idea that white people choose oftentimes to stay silent in face of social inequalities or social justices. Oftentimes, I believe this is because they've gotten so used to their own privilege that they're drunk off of it and they don't really see the world in realistic sights. And I think that's not all white people. I think those are people, not people people that do not belong to BIPOC like communities. They have categories too. Okay, not all non-black or non-colored people are unwoke or not down with the business. Okay, a lot of them do love black people. I mean, like I said, they love our music, they love our this, they love our that. So this video is really directed to people who are familiar with black culture and who are connected to black people, not really to people who are separated from us in a way where, and not that you could really be separated from black people, because we're literally, black culture is world culture, like black history is world history. And I know that that might be offensive to some people, but you know what I mean, most of the new world development, all of these things are surrounded by activities that had to do in relation to enslaving black people. But we're not going to talk about that right now. That's not what this video is about. This video is to tell you that some of your excuses are not valid anymore. And I think as a black person, silence is really offensive because it's like you're basically saying that we're not worth speaking on behalf of. You know, you fight for the right to use the N-word in music. You fight for the right to like, you know what I mean, to rap songs. Oh, you know, slavery was so long ago, blah, 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 blah. But look. You see it? You see it? You see it? It's like, so anyways, I've written down a couple of excuses that we're not having anymore, all right? I hear a lot of times, "I'm not racist. I think this is horrible too. ... Cue cricket sounds. All right, so you're not a racist. All right, okay. So if you're not a racist, then why are you okay sitting down and not doing anything when it comes to social inequalities? Just feeling bad is not enough. Okay, when you have the privilege of social currency, when you have the privilege of being white, okay? In 2020 society, just feeling bad is not good enough. You have to do something with those feelings, okay? And yes, I will be addressing Black people in another video, because I definitely think that we need to address some of our own mess as well. But just because, don't look at Black people, if you're a white person watching this, don't look at how Black people deal with situation as an excuse to how you should look at the situation. There is, I'm pretty sure there's a Bible verse that backs this up, and I will find it and probably put it in the description. But when you know what's right, do it. Okay? So it's either one of two situations. Either you know what's right and you just don't feel like it's worth doing, in which case you'd have to go over that sentence again. I'm not a racist. Because if you know what's right and you're just not doing, then you're allying with the opposite side. Okay? There's a misconception, and this is another excuse that I have. Inactivity is just inactivity. Inactivity is a choice. Inactivity is still activity. Silence is still an action. Silence is still a choice. It still displays a decision. It still puts you on a side of a fence. So if you don't want to be ally to racism and injustice, then you have to speak on behalf of the other. Staying silent automatically puts you in a category, whether those reflect your sentiments or not. Sorry, not sorry. That is the reality. If you do not speak up for yourself, you allow me to assume something for you. And although I know it's not fair to assume someone's a racist or not assume that someone's okay with inequality, however, if you can do something about something and you're not doing something, that means that you're okay with it. I'm okay with it. I might not like it, but I can live with it. That's what you're saying. Anyways, shock. So I was talking to one of my white friends, and again, like, this is not like, oh, like, do you even talk, like, who told you white people feel like that? I am a student of a local university in Canada. I'm not giving you guys my deets. If you know what's up. But actually it doesn't matter. I was a student of Concordia University. We were working on creating a Black Studies program. We had white people in the room. I know what a white ally looks like. I've had many of them in the past. I also know what white apathy looks like. I also know what white sympathy looks like. And these things are not helpful, and they don't actually do anything. Feeling bad doesn't help the case, okay? Empathy helps you to feel what I'm feeling, puts you in my boat. And when you feel what I'm feeling, you have to do something, because there's no way you can feel what I feel right now and you don't do anything about it. You don't say anything about it. There's no, like, you can't tell me. Like, bruh. How, bro. And then, like, bro. If, like, bro. If the seat, bro. If, like, the shoe was on the other foot, and I'm not for, like, Martin Luther King has this wonderful quote, and it's basically saying, like, darkness, and my friend Heather, she has this on her Instagram, and I love her so much. She is an ally, and she mentioned, and she put it on her page a while ago, and I just love it. Just stuck with me, you know. And it's a Martin Luther King quote that says, darkness cannot, like, get rid of darkness. You need light to do that. And hate cannot get rid of hate. You need love to do that. And it's true. You cannot get rid of racism by being a racist. So I'm not saying this sentence to justify white racism, okay? Which we can even debate is a thing or not, but that's not what this video is about, because racism requires certain dichotomies and certain levels of power and relations. And I'm just saying it's really hard for the superior group to be, like, racist towards them because they have privilege and power. But anyways, that's another conversation. We're not getting into that. I digress. If the shoe was on the other foot and you were getting shot just because you were white, like, I'm just gonna pause there, because realistically that sounds insane. Like, you say that sounds almost heretical. No relation to the church. I will be making that video too. But I'm just saying. Okay? So let's not act like this is justifiable. Let's not act like anyone's past justifies them getting shot for jogging. Because jogging is not a crime. Even if you were a criminal, a police officer could not arrest you for jogging. So you can't shoot someone because they're black and jogging. It's not a crime. Okay? Just miss me with all that trash talk. Next point. Okay, so, like, if you're saying I'm not a racist, and I think this is horrible too, my friend Heather was saying that, you know, to an extent for a lot of white people, it's shock. there's an initial shock that happens. And this initial shock kind of like, it's like, what's happening? And you're kind of just stuck in how crazy the situation is, but you don't really know what to do about it. And this led me to believe that I think a lot of white people feel bad, but they don't actually know what to do. So they just end up caught in a valley of inaction or indecision or silence. And I would encourage you guys, if you guys are like, if you don't know what to do, just say this is wrong. Like, even just having that platform. I was speaking on a live that I did with my homegirl Jade, shout out to Jade, this past weekend, and I was talking to her about algorithms and how I think because of social media algorithms, a lot of white people actually don't get certain types of news outside of the States. Like, I don't actually know if you guys know what's going on. And that's why it's so important for people who are related to Black people, for people who are in relationship with us, eat with us, worship with us, go to school with us, have us on social media, can see the things on our walls and our pages. If you can see those things, it's really important for you to speak on them as well, because that's the only how people on the other side that are not in relationship with us will see these things and will talk about them. We might have the platform as Black people of social media and what have you, but the reality is we don't have that kind of social pull in a lot of cases, because people are just going to say, oh, it's another Black person. If we had the amount of social currency that you had, then we wouldn't be the ones getting shot. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. So I'm saying, if you are in relationship to a Black person, if you listen to Black music, okay? If you talk that Black talk, okay? If you're in connection with Black people, please speak. Please say something. Because no one is hearing us scream. If you're a white person and you don't know the ways that you can help, some of the ways that you can help is definitely posting something on your social media, talking about it, making it vocal, making us visible, right? Being Black sometimes makes us a little bit invisible, or a little bit not taken seriously. So if you put your white skin in front of my Black skin and you are the forerunner for that, it really helps. Now, I don't think that you should be the ones leading the conversations or heading the conversations, as in having the most voice. I think Black people do need voice when it comes to Black issues. However, the reality is that if you guys are not on the front lines, people will shoot. So please, also, like, check on the Black friend. Check on how they're doing. Are they okay? What do they think? What do they need from you? How can you help? And not all of them are woke, and some of them are crazy desensitized, because it's the only way that we can survive so much injustice sometimes is by getting numb to it. But that doesn't mean that you should stop trying. And it doesn't mean that you should stop speaking. You need to speak, because some of you guys are in the clouds and you need to know. Not knowing is not an excuse anymore. Silence is not an excuse anymore. And if you do not want to be looking like a racist or looking like an ally of racist people, then you need to start talking like one. Talk like you're not one, I mean. Talk like you care. Act like you care. Do something. Talk to somebody. I don't know what else you want us to say. You need to deal with the insanity that is white racism. That is your problem. And you guys need to deal with it. White racism is your problem. You need to start dealing with it. You need to start dealing with your cousins. Okay? You want to anyways, you need to deal with your cousins, okay? Because your cousins are doing madness out there. Go deal with your cousin. Go talk to your cousin. Thank you. There's so much more I could say about this. Honestly, this is like, I could talk about this for an hour. I have facts. But if you want a part 2 to this video, let me know in the comment section. Thank you for listening to my, not rant, it's a necessary thing what I just did, okay? So I don't care how you feel about it. But if you want to continue this dialogue, please hit up the comment section. I'm not really in for no racist trash, so if you're gonna come at me with the whole Black on Black crime thing, watch my video next week, because I will be addressing the madness. And be careful what you put underneath my video, because you can get blocked and deleted. We're not here for that energy. I love all of my allies out there. Thank you for speaking. Thank you for being visible. Thank you for using your platform to bring light to situations that are in communities around you. We love you, we appreciate you, and we need you. That's just the reality. From this black girl to all my white friends, love you. Some of y'all need to do better. Some of y'all are doing the best you can. Some of you guys are not doing anything at all. Get in where you fit in and act accordingly.